How's it going, everybody? My name's Eric, and in this video I'm going to show you how to fix the HDMI port on your PlayStation 4 without having to do any soldering yourself. It's going to be an HDMI replacement. We're going to use a mail-in service off of eBay, and I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to do that. It should cost you around or under $50. And you could use a local service if you have one in your area. However, more than likely, they're going to be more expensive. So I'll leave that up to you and your discretion. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next project. And let's get into the HDMI port replacement fix on this Sony PlayStation 4 that's not giving us any display. No signal and no display is coming up on my TV. The port in the back feels a little bit loose. When I pull the cord out or move the cord just a little bit back and forth, which is most likely going to be an HDMI port physical failure. The PlayStation turns on, I get a white LED. However, the HDMI port takes the most wear and tear from the cord going in and out, from the cable being at different angles, and the cord putting forces on this port, which may have damaged some of the solder connections. It's also a good idea to visually inspect your HDMI port. You're gonna wanna look in here to see if there are any pins that are sticking out, if the center part is cracked or broken, or if any of the pins on the top or the bottom of the port are mangled up. That'll give you a good indicator of if the physical outside of the port has been damaged from pushing the cord in and out. However, on this PlayStation, there isn't any physical damage on the outside, but when we open it up, I will almost guarantee you that I can see something on the board side of the HDMI port, and that is what we're gonna be paying for somebody else to repair for us. But before we open this up, I'm gonna jump on eBay and show you guys the exact service that I'm gonna be purchasing to fix this PlayStation 4. So here I am on eBay. Hopefully you already have an account and you don't have to make one. That just makes the process a whole lot easier. I'm gonna type in PS4 HDMI port repair, and then we're going to sort price plus shipping lowest first. The first one that pops up is $14.99, but it's just a pad repair service. We're not going to do that. The second one is $22.50, but it says it's a CUH10X only. So I think this is for the older PlayStation 4s, the fat one like I have. And then here is the next cheapest one by Jake House, $37. And it says that you have to send him the motherboard only. No signal to TV. It sounds exactly like what we have. But we're gonna go with this first one here. I would recommend this one, this first one, or the second one. If you have a Slim or a Pro, maybe go with this one right here from Jake House. But I'm gonna go with this one right here because it's so incredibly cheap. I'm gonna make an offer for $19.99. Review offer. It's gonna make the total $33.19. I'm gonna send him that offer. Hopefully they take it. It's just a little bit cheaper. They wouldn't have the offer button on there if they weren't going to take like 5 to 10% off. And then they give you some instructions right here where to ship to. Don't ship an envelope. We're going to go over shipping later, but now we're going to remove the motherboard from the PlayStation because these services, you have to remove the motherboard. It's going to be cheaper to ship. You're going to get a cheaper rate because it's less labor from the soldering specialist. You're going to do the motherboard removal and then the motherboard reinstallation later when you get the motherboard back in the mail. So you're taking out some of that cost. As we patiently wait for our offer to be accepted or denied, we're going to crack open this PlayStation and get the motherboard out. I'm not going to show you guys step by step how to do that in this video. We're just going to do a time lapse of me doing it. And I will put a link to a good tutorial in the description that you can follow. Tronics Fixed is a really good one, but just follow that tutorial to open up your PlayStation and to get the motherboard out. However, it is very helpful to have this hyper tough 17-piece smartphone repair kit. You can get these off of Amazon for cheap or grab it from Walmart. I think I paid less than $10 for this. I will put a link to this kit in the description because you do need the security. It is a lot easier to open with a T8 security bit, which is the star with the hole in the middle for these kind of screws right here. So we got the motherboard out. this is what we're gonna be mailing in. Now that I have the board off, I can see closer to where the HDMI port actually connects to the board. And I'm just gonna stick a toothpick in, and you can see that the pins, all of the pins right here, are now detached and just kind of floating there, not making contact where they should, which makes perfect sense why I have no display. None of these pins are contacting the circuit board and sending a signal to the PlayStation. I'm gonna make a little mark right here down the center to see if the board repair facility actually changes this HDMI port or if they just add solder to it. Your board may or may not have that exact problem. Maybe just one of your pins are disconnected. Maybe you have some physical damage right here. It just depends on the problem. I'm fairly certain that once I get this board mailed off and returned, that it will be working perfectly fine. To get the board out, all I had to do was take out the power supply unit. I didn't remove the optical drive, I didn't remove the fan. I only removed this optical drive ribbon cable, this cord right here, the Wi-Fi antenna cord, one more little cord on the back that I had to pop off. I have the screws just set to the side right here. I think there was a total of 23 screws that I had to remove to get the motherboard out. Now that we have the motherboard out, we're going to pack it and get it ready for shipment. There's multiple ways to do this. I'm gonna show you a few to give you some ideas. Maybe you have it laying around the house. Bubble wrap, you can wrap the motherboard in bubble wrap to give it some protection. But if you don't have bubble wrap laying around the house, you could recycle a bubble mailer like this or an Amazon bubble mailer and just slide your motherboard inside like that. I poked the power pins through it just to hold it into place. And then I'm gonna fold it over again, and I'm gonna poke those through once again. And grab like a piece of foam or something and put that on top of those pins to further protect them. And then take a piece of tape and then put it on it just to make sure that it holds it down. Now we're gonna take this priority mail box. It's called the 1095 box, and these are free from your post office. They're really nice. They have adhesive on them. I'm gonna create the bottom of the box, take off this adhesive. The downside with these boxes is they're kind of flimsy and don't offer a lot of protection. So you may want to wrap this in some more bubble wrap if you had it and really give it some padding. You can also use a non-USPS box. Here's just a recycled box that I'm using. And I'm gonna actually use this box right here. So I'm gonna place the board inside the box. You're gonna wanna fill all the extra space with either packing pillows. You can recycle packing pillows from another Amazon order, or you can just put in like newspaper or grocery bags, something to further pad and make sure that the board doesn't shake around. It's actually really hard to do one-handed. We're gonna close up the top, we're gonna tape it. You're not gonna need to do this because I'm gonna give you the weight right now. It's 1 pound, 5.6 ounces, so 1 pound, 6 ounces, we're gonna round up. And if you packed it like this, you should not be exceeding 2 pounds. And we're gonna send it USPS, which is gonna give us like a 1 to 2 pound rate. So between that range, as long as you use a box that's somewhat that size or the USPS box, you should be good for up to the 2 pound rate. So I just got a notification that the seller accepted our offer for $19.99. So we're gonna pay for that. $19.99 plus $13.20 shipping, which is actually going to be their return shipping to us, and then tax. So $35.93. Make sure your shipping address is correct. We're going to hit confirm and pay. Your order is in. Now, if I go back to the listing, it says to ship my motherboard to this address. So I'm going to copy that. And the dude's name is Fix It Nick, so we'll put that on there. And then we're going to buy our shipping through PayPal. So log into your PayPal account and then go up to the top here and go to paypal.com/ship now. Hit enter. And then they've now integrated with ShipStation, so we're going to go here to connect our account. I don't think I've connected it yet. If you've already connected yours, just bear with me. We're going to hit agree and continue. Okay, so we're gonna X out of here. And this is going to get us a discounted rate on the post. If you wait in line at the post office, you're not gonna be paying the commercial rate. You're gonna pay a retail rate. And you have to stand in line. It's just a big waste of time. So just way better to do it this way, trust me. Your shipping label layout, we're gonna do 8.5 by 11 for just a normal printer. And then billing address, I'll fill this out. And then I'm gonna hit continue, confirm and continue. How are you going to pay? We'll just pay from our PayPal balance, agree and continue. And it says no orders pending, but we're just gonna go up here to create a new quick label. The length, width, and height of the package. This doesn't exactly matter because USPS goes by weight. So I'm just gonna put 12 by 12 by 5 and it's inches, and it was 1 pound. I think it was 5.6 ounces, something like that. So 1 pound, 6 ounces. What I have, it's the same rate if I were to do 2 pounds 0 ounces, as you'll see. So I got to add a ship to address. I'm gonna click on that. I'm gonna paste in that address, 1008 Torrey Pines Court, and it was Darien is the city. So I'm gonna take that out, paste it there. That's the zip code. I'm gonna cut that out, paste it there. It's Illinois. I could delete that now, and it was Fix It Nick. So we filled all this out. Fix It Nick, Darien, Illinois. We're gonna save all that. No thanks. Done. Confirm and continue. Address confirm. Okay, so now it's got my ship from and my ship to filled out. Now I can calculate the rates, and you'll see USPS priority mail is what we're gonna use. You could use parcel ground select and save yourself $1, but it takes up to 6 days to get there. USPS priority mail is only 2. I'm just gonna hit done here, and then I'll show you guys that 1 pound, 5 ounces. It'll be the same rates. What was it, $9.12 or $9.22? Yeah, $9.12. Same rate. Yours will be below 2 pounds, so you can put 2 pounds, 0 ounces, and kind of guesstimate your length, width, and height. It's perfectly fine because USPS calculates by weight. We're gonna hit calculate rates one more time. I'm gonna pick priority mail. If you have time to spare and you want to save 90 cents. Click on that. Do not send it media mail. This is not media. That is an incorrect rate. This is only for books and other media things, not for PlayStation 4 motherboards. If I were to go to the post office, this would cost probably closer to $13 to $15. I'd have to stand in line, handwrite everything. It'd be kind of annoying. We're gonna hit done. We're gonna hit print label. Pops up with this right here. I'm gonna go to the printer right here, hit print, pick my brother printer where I'm gonna send it to. And we're gonna hit print. They printed our label out on our laser printer here. Now all we're gonna have to do is fold this in half and you tape it on to your box. Couldn't really do it one-handed. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of tape. Then you're gonna take your package to the post office. You'll see one of these things. Drop it right in. It's on its way. You could also go drop it off at the counter. I forgot to show this in the video. I wrote my eBay username on it in pen just to make it easier for the seller to match it to the order and then ship it back once he fixes it. Now that all of that is done, we just wait for the motherboard to come back in the mail. 1 or 2 weeks, hopefully.
Eventually.
I think I know what this is. All right, so a couple weeks later, the package has arrived. It looks like they reused the same box that I sent it in. And let's open this bad boy up and take a look at what they have done to our motherboard. I can't remember if I sent it off in this static shielding bag or not. All right, so here we are. And there's our HDMI port. It looks like they did indeed change it out. It is no longer loose. All the pins have been resoldered on. A new port has been installed. It looks like with whatever technique that they used, they cooked this shield a little bit and this got a little too hot over here on the Ethernet port because the plastic is melted a little bit, but I don't think that'll have an effect on anything. Now we're gonna reassemble everything back into the PlayStation and then we're going to test it. I will have to clean off the thermal paste and repaste it, but that's pretty inexpensive. I will put a link to it in the description. I got this off of Amazon. And rather than step-by-step showing you guys how to reassemble, I will just link a video in the description so you can follow that. And I'm just gonna do a time lapse of my reassembly. Okay, we are reassembled, and now we're gonna have to hook this bad boy up and make sure that it actually works. So our PlayStation is plugged in. Let's turn it on, boot it up, make sure our input is correct. Oh, there we go. And we have the PlayStation logo. It looks like the HDMI is working because I wasn't getting anything before. Got that. Look at that. We are good to go. Everything seems to be working. The HDMI is now repaired. Hopefully this video was helpful. It will reduce headaches, save you guys some money, that you can indeed repair your HDMI port on your PS4, even if you don't have a soldering station or know how to do it yourself. If you have any questions about the fix, throw them in the comments section. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you don't miss another project, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.